Hi everyone, welcome to this FRI First-year Research Immersion virtual student panel Q&A. My name is Rachel and I'm one of the student interns for the FRI program. Today I'm here with four past FRI students and we're going to ask them some questions, commonly asked questions. We'll start with introductions. So Christopher, if you go ahead and start off.
Yes, thank you, Rachel. Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Bingham. I am a former FRI student, part of the IASA stream, Image Analysis and Sound Acoustics. I've been a peer mentor and working with FRI. This is my fifth semester now, so I've been with FRI for practically every semester I've been here, and I've enjoyed it ever since.
Yeah, my name is Tevin. I was part of the FRI biofilms research stream throughout the entirety of college as well. I was a biology major, and now I just recently graduated and I'm staying in the lab to finish out my research.
Hi, so my name is Yuhan. I'm a current senior chemistry major with a bio minor. I was part of the clean energy stream, and currently I stayed in the stream working with Dr. Luan on my independent research.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm part of the ecological genetics stream. I'm a biology major and I've been a peer mentor for 2 semesters now.
So my first question for you guys is, as a former FRI student, why did you choose to join FRI?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I knew I wanted to go into research and it was really important to me to get involved really early on, and this was the perfect opportunity to do so.
Yep, similar reasoning. Since I'm a chemistry major, I understand like how important research is to my major, and also I did wanted to obtain a PhD, so this is really hands-on experience for me.
What are your next steps after finishing your bachelor's degree?
So I just recently finished my bachelor's degree. I graduated a semester early. And so in the meantime, with this gap semester, I'm applying to graduate programs. And that my field is called quantitative biomedicine. So it's kind of like the intersection of biology and computer science and biomedical engineering. So throughout the FRI program, I actually got taught how to write my CVs and personal statements and how to do all those application materials. So I got that directly from FRI and I was able to translate it right into my applications. And that so far has been building really well for me. And also just the skills and the soft skills that you learn throughout FRI really help in the interview process and just getting those applications across and telling your story.
So I'm planning to go to grad school and get a PhD, and FRI has prepared me tremendously for that. Because of FRI, I've gained practice talking with professors and talking about their research, and it's led me to other undergraduate research opportunities that helps demonstrate that I'm a competitive applicant for these future career endeavors.
How important do you feel it is if you get your first research stream choice? Is it possible to switch your research stream? And did you get your first research stream choice?
I guess I have a pretty unique experience on this. So my first choice was biomedical chemistry, which their lab is right next to our lab. I didn't get it my first choice, but before I go into clean energy, I don't really have an idea of what it is and what's the stream is entitled for per se. But afterwards, after being immersed in this field for a while, I actually realized I really like material science and clean energy and all the aspect that's relating to it. I remember after my first semester of FRI, I tried to switch stream to biomedical chemistry because before I was thinking of doing pharmaceutical science. But now afterwards, I realized maybe staying clean energy is a good choice because it really helped me inspire my passion in this field.
So I never actually had to switch my stream because I got my first choice. But as a peer mentor, I've had a lot of students switch into biofilms because it's one of the streams that gets filled up the fastest. And especially if you're doing it after our first semester course, HARP 170, which is pretty much similar across all the research streams, it's really easy to switch in. And it's really easy to learn those research skills once you do switch in, because then you can regain that context over the next 2 semesters after that.
How have you found research to be beneficial to preparing you for your future career path?
So the research experience I've gained through FRI has been one of the most important things for my internship applications. Being able to be practice talking about research to people who do research is something that I don't know how I would have built that skill without FRI. And that's one of the major things that I've taken away. And I think it's part of the reason that I've gotten some of the things I've gotten.
Yeah, similar thing for me. I think that because of the like interdisciplinary nature of FRI and being able to collaborate with absolutely anybody, that has really helped me like develop what I want to do in my career. And especially like again, applications, but also like just connecting with people and sharing my story across people with different kinds of academic or industry backgrounds in different fields has been really cool.
I wanted to also add on. So for me, I realized my research mentor actually knows a lot of resources for internship per se, or even for like later on career path. That really helps me a lot, and I feel like he really tries to prepare us for what we wanted to do next, either it's graduate school or it's industry.
As a former FRI student, what were the FRI classes like, and did you enjoy it?
I loved them. First semester you learn how to research, so you're doing like literary analysis and reading papers and stuff. Second semester was one of my favorites. We did lab work. So in ecological genetics, we like extracted DNA from flies and sequenced them and did sequencing analysis work. We did field work as well, and it was a lot of fun. And third semester, my favorite semester, we did our own research project where my group grew plants in the greenhouse. So we got to spend days in the greenhouse with our plants, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess in terms of clean energy, similar to what Rachel just said, first semester overall is all about like getting to know about research, so a lot of reading and writing. And the second semester for us is more like overall laboratory skills. So for us, our research mentor, he will design some experiments that will be helpful in terms of doing our later on our own projects. And then third semester is where we get to conduct our own project. In our lab, we have two sort of like subgroup. One is focusing on quantum dot, 2D perovskite, so solar cell kind of stuff. And then the second group is focusing on platinum catalysis, which is my group. That's for fuel cell application. And then that's where a lot of students ended up continuing their project into independent study, just like myself.
So for my IASA stream, first semester, typical among all the other sections, all the other streams, we pretty much focus on learning the basics of how to do literary research and analysis through papers. And then my second semester is very nice because regardless of whatever your background is in programming, we do a lot of programming in our streams. So you guys get to learn the fundamentals of programming, specifically Python, and then you also delve into machine learning as well, which is pretty interesting. There's a lot of fun projects that we do, and a lot of things you can learn from programming that you can apply to your daily lives. And then our third semester for my stream is that you get to go to this nice computer lab in the ITC building, a very underutilized part of the campus that not a lot of people go to. There's a nice computer lab over there that we can use to run our bigger experiments or run our programs that may need lots of hours of computation to run for, which is nice.
What is the time commitment like for the FRI program? Were you able to manage the FRI time commitment along with the other classes you were taking?
So I'm part of the scholars program at Binghamton as well. And at the same time as doing FRI, I had like a part-time job. So being able to like balance all of that, actually FRI taught me how to balance all of that and like be successful doing that. Yeah, the time commitment is great, but also it teaches you how to manage your time at the same time.
I also wanted to add on, it's definitely a lot of work because you're putting together a poster and like word presentation, you're reading a lot of papers and doing experiments, all that. But to the end of the day, you're gonna be working with a group, a team that you get to split up that work a little bit more. So for me personally, the 3 semesters I'm in FRI, I all like overloaded them in terms of classes. And for the first 2 semesters, I was looking for transfer out of Binghamton. But then so like application on top of classes on top of FRI it could be a lot, but again, like research is a team effort, and I feel like FRI tried to emphasize that a lot too. So it's really nice that you get to work with their team and then split up this huge project.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I mean, the research educators, they know how busy students are and they can be flexible. If like they know that there's a big chemistry exam coming up, they can potentially extend the deadline. Like, they're not here to make it harder than it has to be.
Yeah, I have to say that definitely FRI is definitely a big time commitment for your experiments, especially if you run into potential roadblocks or if your team decides to come up with other research possibilities or anomalies that may hinder or advance what you may be going for. But if you relay good communication with your team and especially with your research professor, then definitely I feel like even though it may be a lot of time commitment, you'll definitely have a well-developed product by the end of your semesters, regardless, I would say.
What non-research skills have you gained through participation in the FRI program?
I think that's a really good question. And then personally, I also participated as the peer mentor. And I can be a very impatient person, but then by participating in the peer mentor program, I sort of learned how to like communicate my research better, first of all, and then be patient about like other people, other work, and then also like obviously mentorship skills comes to a big part, especially when I want to apply for graduate school later on.
I think I took away a lot of like organizational and communication skills from working in a close-knit group. Like for 3 semesters, you really learn better communication skills and how to organize your work together.
Definitely, I would say on my end, communication with a team and with professors honestly really started for me through FRI. I would say I was able to more efficiently communicate with a larger team about how to divide up work equally and fairly among all the team members, and also got more comfortable speaking with professors about issues in general, whether it was about like work or if it was about new opportunities or resources. I felt more comfortable reaching out to those types of professors as well about these types of queries. And in addition, I definitely think that FRI absolutely teaches you time management from even just the work by itself. I feel like just being able to organize your work more efficiently helps play into successing not only just in FRI, but just throughout your Binghamton career here as well.
So the biggest thing for me was definitely the leadership skills. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and it's been really helpful to learn how to kind of navigate that as a team, and then being able to like assign and kind of dole out responsibilities based on what our strengths are, and that's been like really helpful in translating to other parts of my life as well.
So, what academic year or summer research opportunities have you had? How did you use your FRI experience to get those positions?
Yeah, so right now I'm doing 2 independent studies on campus. The first one is like directly I got through FRI. So basically, my research educator in ecological genetics, she helps organize something called EcoBlitz, which is like a biodiversity event where you track biodiversity on campus in the nature preserve. And there's a kickoff event where they like get guided towards the nature preserve. And I heard about it through FRI. And so I went, and it turned out to be a really rainy, cold day, and not a lot of people showed up. But I went out and I made the effort, and I was talking with like the guides a lot during the tour. And at the end of the tour, the grad student actually asked me to join his lab the following semester. So that's how I got that opportunity. And that is in the Sobel lab studying plant genetics and evolution of the Mimulus genus, which is very fun. And my other independent study is mycological research, so fungi, and I'm looking at insect gall-associated fungi. And I got that because I met a professor in a marine biology class over the summer, and it's a lot of fun. I don't know. I think because of FRI, I'm able to talk to professors more comfortably, especially about research, because we've gained those skills. And then I also have an internship for the summer at the Chincoteague Bay Field Station. And that interview, I have to have done FRI for. I talked about that for so many of the questions.
For me, so I had my first internship was at Brookhaven National Laboratory, in the Center of Functional Nanomaterial Department. That's directly associated with my FRI project where I worked on nanoparticle synthesis, basically the same thing I did for my FRI. And then my second internship was at Columbia University, the research experience for undergraduate, in their material science and engineering center. And that's also closely related to my FRI project because even though they're doing like something that's totally different, but it's still within the field of material science. And I would definitely say that FRI prepared me a lot for them, like the fundamental laboratory skills, and as a lot of us mentioned, communication skills, either with the team or with the professor. And currently I continued my FRI project as the independent study. And from this, I was able to present in the ACS Fall 2023 meeting, which is a annual national meeting. That's pretty cool to me because I don't think a lot of undergraduate get to present there at all. But yeah, that's basically all of my experience.
Just to add on, yet one cool thing about FRI, especially in my stream at least, is for your third semester project, you get to work with a lot of different professors. Like you could kind of come up with anything you want. So my team, we looked at salt interactions with like milkweed and monarch caterpillars, and we worked with another professor on campus because that's kind of what his lab specializes in. And so a lot of people that I know were able to gain independent studies from their third semester projects, which was cool.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. And that also reminds me of for our stream, like other than the on-campus collaboration that Rachel mentioned before, I think a lot of the stream instructor were like your research professor. They also try to have external collaboration. For us, we collaborated with Brookhaven National Laboratory for our nanomaterial characterization. But yeah, that's really cool because it really opens your eyes up for like other external opportunities too.
For those who have been FRI peer mentors, what were the benefits of being an FRI peer mentor?
I was the lead peer mentor for the FRI biofilm stream for 3 semesters. And in that role, I was able to help people like basically like realize their potential in research and build their STEM identities, which is something that we talk about a lot. And basically like kind of like coming of age into their research identity and being confident and pushing their research forward just through their own confidence, which was really rewarding for me.
Yeah, I feel really similarly. It's been amazing being a peer mentor because I had an amazing one, and being able to facilitate the same like experiences I have is so rewarding, and I love doing it.
Yeah, so this is my 5th semester as a peer mentor. So I've seen 3 generations of FRI people after me after I took it. And I would say definitely one of the biggest things that I've been able to benefit from it is networking, honestly, from seeing some of my students also become also co-peer mentors with me as well. It's also just networking in general because I see a lot of my FRI students, they join a lot of the Watson School's biggest like organizations such as like HackBU, ACM, or BAE or things like that, and they all just have this big network of people working together that they can like collaborate on events with FRI or just even with each other in ways. I feel like it's just a great opportunity for you to just know all these different people with all these different backgrounds, and you can just expand your network in such a vast variety.
Just to add on, I feel like another really, I guess, things that people don't really mention is that, at least for me personally, by mentoring other people, by mentoring like the younger generation, they really help me to reflect on my own project because a lot of the question they sometimes ask, I never thought about it, or I never thought about like why and how. So by answering those questions when I'm peer mentoring them, that really helps me to like reflect on my own project and build on my own project from that.
What do you feel was the greatest benefit of participating in the FRI program?
I
Uh,
would definitely say collaborations because like I've worked in some regard like writing papers or working on my research with like almost all of the FRI like research educators. And that has given me exposure to a ton of different kinds of fields and ways of thinking that help me form my own kind of style. And that's been really helpful for me.
Yeah, being able to become experienced making posters, presenting posters, writing papers has really helped me with my independent studies. Like, I've gone to conferences, and without FRI, I might not have known how to make the best poster. And also, I don't know, just in general.
I guess for me is how FRI really prepared me for my research career. It really taught me a lot of the fundamental skills. So on top of like communication, presenting skills, definitely also the laboratory skills, which all became really handy when I used them in my internship or later on in my graduate school. So I would definitely say that FRI is certainly the fundamental like cornerstone of my research career.
For me, FRI's program was very helpful for me in getting some of the key aspects that I wouldn't get in my in my major. For me being a CS major, they prioritize doing a lot of like computer science like classes and like learning how to code and whatnot. But I feel like with FRI, I was able to master the skills of like being able to look at research, figure out how I could potentially incorporate different research paths or journeys of other people in my own work, how to like write these complex papers in order to express myself more fluidly to those around me instead of just being able to do something but not really explain it well. I feel like FRI definitely prepared me in a way to speak professionally and professionally about my work in a way that multiple people from various backgrounds can understand, and I can connect with them more easily in a fluid manner.
What advice would you give future FRI students?
My advice is to keep communication clear with your research professor. They want you to succeed as much as you do. So if you just keep an open mind about what's going on, good or bad, hey, it may want to incorporate bigger ideas that you may have thought of or other things that may happen throughout your research. Having a clear communication with your professor will make the process so much smoother and will make your experience at FRI so much better.
Yeah, I agree with what Christopher said. I think communication is a really important part of going through FRI, and it's also something that you can take out of FRI and apply to other things.
I guess for me, my advice would be that try to make the most out of it and never be afraid to reach out. So for example, not only your research professor, but also people that's in your group or, older FRI people, they might know a lot more opportunities than you would imagine. And I also feel like by talking to your research professor, they definitely have more experience in the field, so they could guide you more to like the ultimate path that you wanted to go into, either for graduate school, for industry, for like whatever you wanted to do. So yeah, don't be afraid to reach out and definitely try to make the most out of this.
FRI, my advice would be that FRI is a built environment so that you can learn to fail forward. And so once you make mistakes, you learn from those mistakes, you internalize that, and then you move forward through it. No one's expecting you to be perfect ever. That's probably the biggest misconception is nobody expects you to be perfect. You're meant to kind of fail forward and keep trying and keep iterating on whatever you're doing. And that's how you reach success, not by being perfect.
Be really open about what projects you can get involved in. You may be pitched something and you may think, oh, this isn't really what I want to do. But there's the cool thing about research is there's so many different like niche like fields to go in, and you don't really know what's out there until you start learning about it. And there's some really cool things that I learned that I never thought I would be interested in.
All right. Thank you everyone for being here.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Yep, you too.
You see you.
Yeah.
Bye.